Here we go. It's just a belt burnt off. I can live with that. And so I've got the belt on hand, and we'll later this morning we'll get that fixed. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I am scared to death of ladders. The ladder up the harvester does not bother me at all. It's little open ladders like that that send me just shaking and frightening. I've hung on the IDS tower, I've hung on City Center tower. To hang on a swing stage at 600, 800 feet is not a problem. Doesn't bother me at all. We were on City Center tower one time and the wind was blowing hard enough that it would pick the stage up, and then the wind die, the stage would drop a couple feet. That didn't bother me. Going 15 feet up that stupid extending ladder, there's finger grooves in them ladder rungs. Just got fuel. Dad and Karen are gonna get started combining while I get our belt changed and our system going, and let's get going. Well, things are moving fine. Dad will be here in a little bit to take over so I can go feed cows and fix my belt. Karen's not quite ready for unloading on the go, but it works out nice just having somebody there to move the grain cart, so the cart's always in the right spot. So you can always just unload as you need to unload instead of chasing to headlands. Instead of chasing the headlands and having a cart at one end, wagons at the other, and taking, you know, 8 rows down and dump and 6 rows down and dump kind of deal. It just works out, adds that much more productivity. And so Jeff just left with the wagons and we're going to be full here in a second. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I hit that power pole with the 8820 and the corn head? I opened up across this little headland, and I was on that end coming this way, and I told myself, remember, you've got a power pole there. And sure enough, I hit that hydro lever and came flying across this headland, and right at the last second I looked up and saw that power pole coming into the snoot, and I yanked back on the hydro, and just as the combine came to a stop, bonk, it hit the pole. And I thought for a half a minute that I just was going to be paying for power, because when you bump them poles and they send a whip down the line, and but it didn't knock any wires down, it didn't hurt anything, but it did kind of torque the head a little bit. But when I sold the head, it was still working good, you know, it wasn't something bad. But yeah, you tell yourself, don't hit that power pole, and then drove right into it, for Pete's sake. So Dad and Karen finished the other field. They're behind us on the other side of the big highway, and so now Dad went home. And I'm going to see if we can't open this 15-acre up, and then if we end the night with wagons and cart full, then in the morning I can do a little bit of maintenance and fueling while Jeff is running the first rounds, and then we should be able to get underway. I hope I can convince him to no-till into that, because it looks really nice. There's a really nice seed bed for no-tilling beans into. So if I can get him, or not if I can get him, but if he's willing to try some no-till soybeans again, then boy howdy, we just saved him a bunch of money with this chopping corn head. Woo! Well, there she's running. You can see the horizontal auger that drags it spinning there, and the motor's wiggling up there. I risk life and limb for you guys to go up there to do that. Life and limb, but it's running. So as soon as the dryer's refilled, then we'll start the system back up again and get going. So we got that all working, and now we come out and the wet bin is not empty. The unload is not picking. And what I think is happening is I'm supposed to follow the red wire, and follow the red wire leads us to this little pick right there. When this relay, when you hit the unload switch, it's supposed to run that pick, and that pick is our auxiliary for the auger and the CalcuDry for the meter rolls. And it's not doing that. So I got some brake clean. I think we'll actually just clean the back side of that and see if that helps us. I had to call in for help from the Sparkies. So while we're not quite sure when they're showing up. So I'll just park the grain cart, calibrated the monitor, and park the grain cart and use the Manatee to haul wagons, and we'll see what we can't get done on this little field. So the whole field's 35 or 37 planted acres. The corn is coming off at like 17.2, 17.5%. Kind of hard to complain about anything like that, ain't it? The yield is absolutely phenomenal. That's been kind of the interesting part about this soil health journey, is that a lot of this ground I picked up is old sod fields. It's not bad ground, but it lacks some fertility. It lacks a lot of stuff, and so just getting this ground coming alive takes time. But the corn has been phenomenal since we switched to strip till and no-till. Our yields have just gone way up, and just like everybody else's. I can remember, so here we're doing 190, 200 bushel corn, and in 2013, I can remember the winner of that test plot was 128 bushels to the acre, and we had a silage hybrid that did 165 on two little fields. It did 165 bushel average, and we thought, holy crap, that hybrid just blew away all these, quote unquote big hybrids that were supposed to be in our area. And but at the time, 130 bushel went in your test plot. You're like, well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. The owner of this farm, he remembers the first time they hit 80 bushel corn. His dad told him, write this on the calendar or remember this day, because you might not get 80 bushel corn again. And now his dad would probably come out of the grave laughing and kicking to see 210 plus bushel corn. That's just crazy. And so yeah, but I'll get these wagons home, and hopefully, so this is a short field. Let's see if I touch map again. So there I am. I mean, it's a short field, And with 8 rows down and back, my grain tank is about full. I'll hit my 70% alarm on the way back, about halfway on the way back. It is not a very big field, but yeah. So I think next year we're going to end up with a lot of acres of corn, and then corn has been doing fantastic in the soil. You know, look at all that residue to feed the life in the soil, and the big root system that go down, all the P and K being recycled here, and so yeah, there might be some tire blight out in that row where it's missing a row. There might be some tire blight. Seems that the guy that sprays, that would be me. Sometimes he isn't always paying attention, apparently. But yeah. Oh well. Whoa, plugged row. Holy cow, who's paying attention now? Holy cow, holy cow. What's going on there? I will be back with you later. Well, the good news is the Sparky, there was one bad relay in there that he swapped out, and the dryer is up and running again. The bad news is that row unit that plugged, the gearbox is broke, so one of the stock rolls isn't powered. It's just kind of freewheeling under there, and so we only have a few acres left. So we're just gonna drive slow and baby it and hope we get through, and if it becomes too much of a problem, then we'll just come back and grab the 12-row head and go that route. Whoa, way overshot that one. Who's even driving? Who's even paying attention here anymore? So, yeah, I'll get these unloaded, and Dad and Karen are heading over to start filling the grain cart and get combining, and hopefully I can get there before they're too full, but probably not. Well, the day just gets better. So yep, the other spare corn head is working good. Got myself filled up. Dad and the wife are combining, and Dad said that the fill auger burnt them belts off again. You're like, what in tarnations? And I wonder if I gotta check alignment. I wonder if it isn't possible that one of them pulleys, either on the motor or on them aluminum pulley, didn't move a whisker and get out of alignment, and it runs the one belt off and then burns the other belt up. It's a good question. We'll have to take a peek at that. But yeah. Oh, it feels good to have the 12-row back, and 5 mile an hour with the 12-row head. That's how life is supposed to be, with the monitor getting close to 4,000 bushel an hour for a little combine that can. Oh baby, now we're getting something done. That's how it's supposed to be.